Hi, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to talk to some real people about some real things, living real lives, doing real stuff. This is the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle, accompanied by my heterosexual life partner, party boy Pete McCormick, and our special guest today is the one and only Carlee Myers. Party boy Pete, you ready to get this thing going?
Matty, boom, batty. Let's get started, buddy.
Perfect. You can find us on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast and can join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. All right, let's get this thing started. Let's go.
It's all objective to be effective by voices societies. Working perspective, exploring your day and how you get paid. Launching a new episode every Tuesday. Your day can transform while we inform with new episodes available on every platform. So check out our vibe and how we get live. Then do us a solid. Share and subscribe. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. We're just sharing. Working perspectives.
All right, party boy Pete McCormick. How are you, my friend?
What is going on, Matty?
So I know you heard the news 2 weeks ago. We got pirated again by some scumbag asshole jerk, some bastard jerk beard son of a bitch. And he set a date. He finally manned up. He was running scared for weeks. And he finally manned up and he set a date for the challenge. The challenge will take place. So
Do we have a date?
yeah, well,
Do
we
I
have
have
a
a
date.
We
I
have a date.
mean,
It's set.
you get a +2. You know,
I get
plus,
all right.
yeah, +1 wasn't good enough for old party boy. You get a +2.
All right, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah. So we have a date, October 2nd. We're finalizing location. We're pretty sure it's going to be the Graham's Pub, Land of the Free, Home of the Brave. We're going to have the Twitch match there with some other things going down, obviously. We're going to try and do some lead-up stuff prior to the showdown where I can win my show back because that son of a bitch stole the rights to my show.
That's right, Matt. You know what? It's a Jocktober to get rid of the jerk, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. Jocktober, get rid of the jerk, fear the jerk, wrath of the jerk, volume 2. So nice. All right. So now that people know that, October 2nd is where I'm winning the rights back to my show because this is my goddamn show.
That's right, Matt. You build it.
Yeah, I build it and they will come eventually. Somebody, who knows? But that's right. This is my idea.
That's what she said.
That's what she's still trying to say. But this was my idea. This is our brainchild. This is our child that we birthed together, Party Boy Pete. So
We nursed this with our own bosoms.
yeah, plentiful nursing. Either way, so let's get this thing started. So today on the show, we have the illustrious Carlee Myers. All right. So Party Boy Pete, Carlee Myers, you and me both know. We went to school with her back in the day. She was a athletic phenom and superstar, as everybody knows. Kind of a celebrity, no big deal. Our first real get on the show. Don't build her up too much, but probably the biggest guest we'll ever have. So
I think she may have beaten me in a swimming contest one time, Matt, if I don't remember correctly.
I remember being the referee or the umpire for that swimming contest, and I do believe it was a disqualification because she cheated.
That is true. True.
Yeah. So technically you won, even though you lost, but you won because, cheaters never win.
Jump the gun. Can't jump the gun.
Can't jump the gun if you're a cheater. So either way, so I wanted to bring her on because there's I feel like, we've been around for a little bit, obviously not as much as some of our guests have been around, but we've seen a couple things. And when you see a good person. So I do want to bring this up because it's been brought up on the show a couple times. And I'm talking about the scavenger hunt.
Oh, all right. One of my favorite topics.
Oh, everybody does. So for our listeners, they'll remember from, I think it was the Burn Podcasty episode where I told the story of when I ripped an air conditioner out of a window. And
It shouldn't have been sitting there.
right. It was 200 points in the scavenger hunt. So, you got to do what you got to do. But so I will tell this. So what happened is that there's a bunch of us hanging out, and I had the bright idea after seeing the show Viva La Bam. They had a scavenger hunt on Viva La Bam. So I set up a scavenger hunt. We have like a couple of rival neighborhoods. One of them's N-Dub, one of them's Towie's, Hatfield, all that stuff. So we're in Lansdale, and I set up a scavenger hunt where it's like you steal a mailbox, it's like 200 points. You steal whatever, it's 500 points. If you steal a doghouse, it was 1,000 points, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So either way, we all left at a certain time. Each team had a car. Carlee was a driver for one of those teams. Yeah, unfortunately. And then
Carlee Vin Diesel Myers over there.
Yeah. So, and then we had like a home base where you can go steal stuff and then you can bring it back. You had like 4 hours, and there were 2 teams. And I'm not going to lie, like we were all under drinking age, but we were all very competitive at the time. So there was like a lot of like, we were like prepping for like major arguments and fights and like all this stuff, right? Even though at the end, no one really cared who won, right?
It's not like you were using that air conditioner later on. No one got to take it home.
No, my mom was actually like really pissed when the next day she went in the garage and she was like, what the fuck is all of this? Are you fucking kidding me? Right? But I will say this, and I didn't say it on the Burn Podcast episode. I did mention that I stole 2 license plates off of 2 different cars that night. I returned, but I returned both of the license plates later.
No, an honorable gesture, man. An honorable gesture.
Right. Once I found out it was a felony, I was like, unfortunately, the mailboxes didn't get returned. But I didn't steal those. So either way. We're there, we're going, like, we're hours into the scavenger hunt. You should have seen the amount of shit piling up in my mom's garage. Air conditioners, for sale signs. I remember I tore my shirt, ripping a schmale schmocks out of a yard. We had like a bunch of like hazard stuff. So there was like one of those stands with like a blinking light on it, some cones, a barrel, like all of these things. Obviously, license plates, things like that. But the one
thing living though, right? You didn't get any little people or dogs or anything, no?
No. They were all members of our team. So, but either way, eventually there's one of the biggest things we wanted to get, because it was the most points. I do remember this. The doghouse was the most points. It was like 1,000 points. It was a lot, right? So we had our stuff, and we were searching. Like, dude, we were like, it's 4 hours. I think we were doing this. We're driving everywhere. We're doing everything. We could not, for the life of us, get a doghouse. There was a couple times where I was just like, Alex, drop me off here, right? And I just went and like stole a bunch of stuff and made my way back to the house, right? So eventually we're passing this other team, right? And all of a sudden we hear, I hear, like, we're in our car and we hear them, and we're like, trying to like, because you can steal stuff from the other team unless they put it back at the home base kind of thing. So I hear someone say, they got the doghouse, right? And I'm like, oh, fuck, doghouse? Game changer? So that's when I look down the street. I jump out of the car, look down the street, and see former guest of the show, friend of the show, Rocco DeFinis, carrying a doghouse, right? I then run, take the doghouse from him, right? He then tackles me while carrying the doghouse, and I think Sweet Mama Cheesecake grabs the doghouse and gets the doghouse back to the house, and we got the points. But I will say it was a time, quite a time. There's more stories to be had from the scavenger hunt, but we'll just leave the doghouse one because that involves old Big Mouth Myers there giving it up that they had the doghouse. So she's doing great now. She's a business owner. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a physical trainer, all these great things. And she's doing really well. Happy to have her. And I just like to ask, Carlee, have you seen the movie Bohemian Rhapsody? And if yes, what'd you think of that piece of shit movie?
Hey everyone. Yes, I did see the movie, and to be honest, I liked it.
Oh,
That's right. One for the good guys.
Am I
Finally,
still
one
welcome
for
on the
good
show? Am I
guys.
still welcome on the show just because I like it?
yes.
Come on, he did a good job.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
Carlee, the teeth, the mouth, the singing, the mannerisms. I felt like I was at Live 8.
I mean,
Wow.
seriously, it was spot on. I'm with you, Pete.
Wow. You're the only one, apparently.
No, that can't be true.
It isn't true, but I wish it was. But either way, how are you, Carlee? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm great.
Great. Glad to hear. So, like I said, you're owning your own business. Well, let's give a quick shout out. What is the name of your gym or your physical training center? Or I don't know what it specifically is called. What is it called?
It's called a gym.
Got
It's a real. I'm gonna write this down, okay? Because it's really unique. It's called Carlee Myers Personal Training.
Wow. Needed a
Did you take that to the trademark office yet?
I have not. No one's pirated my name yet, but
Watch
yeah,
out,
no, I call it a gym, or I call it like a training studio. It's small.
I like it. Very nice. I know gym is short for gymnasium. So there you go. Yeah. Some of us know big words. I don't know if you know
that is German for I work out a lot.
So, okay, perfect. So glad to hear that. Carlee Myers Personal Training. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Wow. All right. So for all you listeners out there, to the dozens and dozens of Working Perspectives podcast listeners looking to get some good personal training in, find our friend Carlee Myers at Carlee Myers Personal Training, and we'll have a link for all her stuff in the description of this episode. So make sure you check it out. So, all right. So we know you're doing great, all this fun stuff, but we got some good shit we want to get into. So I want to move on to the hot segment, Hitting the Streets. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Memory Lane.
Where do these bizarre memories come from?
So in English, if you say this is lame when you're describing something, what you are saying is that it's not cool, it's not awesome, it's not interesting.
All right, so that's memory lame, as in L-A-M-E, as in not cool, like you. Oh, you son of a bitch. So lame as in not cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring up a topic from the 90s. We're gonna discuss it. Then we're gonna vote to see if that topic is still totally radical tubular bruh or if it's lame city. So, Carlee, being that you're the guest, as tradition, you bring up the memory lame topic for today.
Does it have to be lame, or what if I think it's cool? Is that all right?
That's that's the entire point. Yeah.
Okay. I got it. Okay, sorry, I blew it. My memory lane is a show. Is that okay?
Yeah. It's real quick. So it's your memory lame. Like,
excuse me,
lame.
my memory lame.
Yeah.
Is Family Double Dare.
Whoa. Breaking out the big guns. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, that's not just, that is okay. Family Double Dare. Mark Summers, right? Is he the host, Mark Summers?
I believe so.
Wow.
Last time I checked.
Absolutely.
Philadelphia native, Mark Summers?
Is that true?
He is a Philadelphia native.
Oh.
Philadelphia native.
He actually yearly still hosts what he calls Dunkle Dare at down in Fishtown at a place called what the hell is the name of that beer garden? Frankfurt Hall. So normally in July he goes down there and he gets all these people to reenact Double Dare down there.
What?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
Oh, dude.
Every year. This was the first year they didn't do it because of COVID, but yeah, for like the last couple of years he's been doing it. Maybe like 5 or 6 years.
Man,
that's cool.
That's one of those shows. So like Double Dare, Family Double Dare, Legends of the Hidden Temple, Guts, like all of those shows are like, you watch them and you're like, God, I wish I was on that show, like immediately. And also, was it me or was the prizes for Double Dare always a pair of Reebok sneakers?
I do not remember that.
I think all I remember is like, and today's prize is, and it'd be like these sneakers
Reebok pumps.
On top. I love. Oh man, I can't.
I mean, if it was pumps, then it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I wish I had a pair of pumps. If they had pumps, I'm buying them. So, all right, nice. So, family double dare. So, how do you think? Because how many people are you supposed to have on your team? Is it like 4 or 5?
I think it's 4 or 2.
4.
It's either 2 or I think you either work in partners or 4.
Well, I think it's 4 for like the panel, and then 2 for the obstacle courses and the games, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's correct.
Nice. All right. Nice. Pete, who out of you're one of so I guess there's 6 kids, but 8 people total in your family. So who are the 4 you're going with for family double dare?
Oof, I got to go with obviously me because
Right.
I'm the best one
You're
by
the
far.
captain. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're an Adonis.
I got to go with Jimmy because he's skinny and wiry. You know,
Yep.
he can get into things.
And there's that one where you have to slide through the mouth, like down the tongue, and then find the flag and the thing. Yeah. So that Jimmy
Yeah.
would
In
be
the nostril?
Oh, the nostril too. Oh my god.
Jimmy, he's the nostril guy. I got to go with Mama McCormick because she's
Yeah.
frightening and she could
Yeah.
put everybody in their place if they tried to mess with me.
Yep. Yeah. She's very intimidating.
And last one, I got to go with Trish the Dish. She
I
was a
gonna say
litigator.
Trish too. And Trish was a heck of a swimmer too. Shout out
She
swimmers.
was. That's something I'm going to bring up with Carlee later on.
Don't get it twisted. We do a lot of high school wrestling talk on this show, but I know that we're going to get in some deep high school sports talk with some swimming today. I know we are. So, okay. So, yeah, pretty badass. I know for me, I don't have much of a choice. Obviously, it'd be me, asshole, probably my old man, and probably Psycho, too. Psycho's probably pretty good. Yeah, the 4 of us would probably rip house. So, nice. All right. So, all right, good deal. Great suggestion. So, let's do some voting on it. So, Carlee, your thoughts. Is Family Double Dare rad or lame?
Absolutely rad.
Right. Yep. Peter Hosen?
You know, I want to go rad on this, Matt, but thinking about this Dunkel Dare, I was never able to make it because it was during tax season, so I missed 5 Dunkel Dares, and now I'm a little depressed about it, so I'm going lame on it.
Wow.
That doesn't seem fair.
Wow.
You know what? Life isn't fair.
Yeah.
And neither was Double Dare.
Do you still trust his opinion on Bohemian Rhapsody, or does this change anything?
No, I'm still with Pete on that. I won't fault him for that.
Well, I'm going to give it, it's going to get 2 out of 3 for the rad because Family Double Dare is fucking awesome. And Mark Summers, shout out, Philadelphia native Mark Summers. So, nice. All right, perfect. So that was another rousing segment of Memory Lane. All right, for all you listeners out there, if you want to send in your suggestions for Memory Lane, please do so at workperspectives@gmail.com or hit us up on the Twitter at WorkingPPod or on Instagram at Workperspectives Podcast. All right. So I want to do another memory lane, but we're not gonna because we got some heavy shit to get into, and I'm super freaking excited about it. So our guest today, Carlee Myers, was born and raised in the land of the free and the home of the brave, Lansdale, Pennsylvania. What do you know?
Not to be confused with Lansdowne, the crappy
Not-
one. Don't think
not-
about Lansdale, the good one.
Yeah,
Dale.
Lansdale.
The Dale.
Yeah,
Mhm.
hell yeah, L-Dale for sure. L-Dale living for life. So
Like Chippendale Rescue Rangers. That's how you remember it.
hell yeah, Chippendale, L-Dale, land of the free, home of the brave.
Oh, I
So,
know all the words to Chippendale. Okay.
Do you?
I do.
Physical challenge? You want a physical challenge right now? Are we
I
calling
think
out
we
a
have to hear
physical
this
challenge?
now.
Physical challenge?
Well, who's going to challenge me?
I mean, I'm challenging you. Do you really know all the words to Chippendale's Rescue Rangers theme song?
Chippendale.
Chippendale.
Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks, but these 2 gumshoes are picking up the slack. There's no case too big, no case too small. If you need help, just call.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
There you go.
Wow. Wow. All right. Hey.
Challenge accepted.
Physical challenge. Wow.
I'm going to
Now
ask
that is
any-
rad.
I'm
That
going
is
to ask
rad.
that any music producers listening, please don't come after me all at once, okay? I know my voice is good.
Yeah. We all know who the new voice of the Work Perspectives theme song is going to be. I'll tell you that right now. Wow, that was fantastic. Absolutely
All right.
fantastic.
Okay.
Nailed it. Okay, so let's get into a little history about our good friend Carlee Myers. So Carlee went public school, K through 12. Then she went to Indiana University, Pennsylvania for college, where she went on a swimming scholarship. She ran track until middle school. She played the flute in elementary school and middle school. and was pretty good. But as far when it comes to sports, right? There's one sport and one sport only. Well, two, I guess, but they're both pool based. But swimming and water polo were your bread and your butter. So let's get the small shit out of the way first. Then we'll get to the main course. So track, what events were you doing in track?
I mean, I guess if it's worth bringing up, I was a miler. And
oh, wow. Look at you.
I ran like a couple hurdle races, but on my last one, I bit the dust big time. I got my foot caught and I fell down.
Ooh.
Super embarrassing. But other than that, I ran the 400 a couple times, the 800, but I was primarily the mile.
Wow. That's badass. I will say this. So when I was still fighting, right? For like I had like couple fights, and then I had a loss, and then after the loss I was really pissed because I feel like I lost because of my conditioning. So instead of hiring a conditioning coach, I had asshole be my conditioning coach. And what he would do, and I'll tell you this, for any of you guys out there trying to get your conditioning up, it fucking worked. Because I've had a bunch, and Carlee, you can speak to this, because I've had a bunch of trainers and a bunch of coaches where it's like, not every day is your best day. And even like I coach, like, you know, when I'm training kids in boxing and things like that, there are some days where like, all right, you kind of got to give them, like some days you're fucking hard on them, you know, like giving it to them. But there's some days where it's like, all right, let them do their thing. Like they're working through it. But when it's with a family member, they just don't give a shit. And they're really fucking, they're assholes. Would you say would you agree with that, Carlee, where there's like some days where it's like, okay, they're trying, but maybe today's not their day. So maybe not crush them as bad, but then
you got to read them a little bit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like when it comes to personal training, the relationship you build with the client is the most important thing. Obviously, results and everything like that is huge, but you have to build a personal relationship. They have to like you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would agree,
or at least respect you.
Yeah. So that being said, me and asshole would meet at the Roxborough High School park or the track, right? And we would run. So I'd have to run a 400 in like, I think it was like a minute and 10 seconds, right? And if I didn't get it, then I'd have to run it again. Then I'd have to run an 800 and it was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that, right? And then a 300 would be like 3:45. So I think I had to do a mile in like, I think it was like under 5, I think, or something along those lines, something like fucking ridiculous. And I remember doing it and I was like, he was timing it and I was so fucking close to hitting the mile at the time I wanted and I didn't get it. And I fucking freaked out and I was like, you're a fucking liar. I know I fucking did it. I'm not fucking running it again. Fuck you. I'm fucking done. Fuck you. I knew I shouldn't have fucking you know. And then he's like, all right, we're running bleachers. And I'm like, God damn you. But then either way, I mean, I won the next few fights. So either way, the conditioning fucking works. It is what it is. But Carlee, when you were running the mile, what did you think? What did you like about track? What did you learn? Why were you doing it? Was it to stay in shape for swimming? Like, what was the deal?
No, it was to get away from swimming. I was a year-round swimmer. So track, I was good at those like individual but still on a team type sports.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a pretty decent runner, so I liked beating people. So it was easy to see when I was beating someone.
So you got tired of beating the people on the swim team. You're like, I need some new fish.
I needed some fresh meat, I guess.
Would you say you were comfortable, like you're obviously when you're swimming in your track, you're running against other people, but really your main competitor is the clock, right?
Yep.
So would you say like that's something you were already comfortable with like the idea of like, you knew like, okay, my goals are I'm trying to get, a split second faster every day. Like you knew like that part of the training and what it took to get there?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the part I like the best, running against the clock.
Yeah, because with other people, I mean, whatever, you're going to run into those Usain Bolts out there and those Michael Phelps. But when you have like your every day is a personal goal of going against the clock, that makes it a big difference. That's pretty cool. I like that. Swimming's also, I'll tell you, I will say this. As far as like when it comes to like wrestling and boxing, obviously like, and like MMA, they hold the trophy for like the toughest shit. but don't fucking sneeze at swimming. Swimming is some tough fucking shit.
Yeah, I want to hop in here, man, real quick, because like I know, like I don't know if people realize how intense North Penn swimming is and how good it is. Because like like people say like, oh, like we're wrestling centric, so we say wrestling is the Navy SEALs of high school sports. But the team that was always there doing the 2 days with us, like the swim team was always there in the morning.
Agreed.
They was always there after. Like it was like they were the ones that were there all the time, and that's why they were always at the top of the podium. It's because they put in more work than any of the other teams at the high school.
Pete, I could not agree more. So let's move on then. So you did track and all that. You played the flute like a stunad, but either way, your life, right? And like you said, it was year round. So that's another thing swimming had in common with wrestling. So wrestling's year round, swimming's year round. For swimming, you guys were there. Like we would practice in the morning. We would run stairs. You guys are in the pool in the morning doing your laps and all that stuff. Right. So like you guys were working just as hard. Also, I feel like swimming got hit with maybe not so much as Title IX, but for wrestling, there's not so many places you can go. Like it's not like football or basketball where it's like there's a million schools you can go and play at and get scholarships with. For wrestling, it's really limited. And I don't know if it's much for swimming, but I feel like there is kind of like it's definitely not as prevalent as a basketball or football. So you guys, you're working doubly hard. We will say this: the swimming at the school we were at North Penn was top notch. So let's get into that. So when did you start swimming, Carlee?
Like in life, I started when I was, I guess, my first year on. My first year on a team, I was 5.
Oh wow. Okay. So what do you think kind of led you towards swimming?
So my mom was already a swim coach, so whether or not I had a choice, I'm not sure. But obviously it paid off. But I took my first lesson at under a year, and I was on a team at 5, and never looked back, I guess. So
so you started swimming at 5. So was your mom the coach of your 5-year-old team?
Yeah. So in swimming, it's age group is the same. So swimming goes from 5 to high school. And then you get into your high school sports and stuff. Yeah. But age group is all ages. It's not by weight or age or whatever. It's just the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she was my age group coach in the summer and the winter. They were 2 separate teams.
Did you like swimming, or was this something that, because I know for wrestling, Pete liked it because he's fucking really good at it. But for me, it turned into a job kind of thing, which was really disparaging after a while. Would you say, did you ever feel that way with swimming, or you were very, very successful at it and you knew like, I have a future here. Like this is kind of like when you were training for swimming, even at a young age, you had to have it in your mind where like, this is what I'm going to use to get to college. Right. Was that ever a thought?
Oh yeah. I think I knew pretty early on that, like I said, I was pretty successful in swimming, and
I'm very successful. I would say, don't be modest. You're very successful.
I think that I think that was enjoyable, and then when you get to high school, like people start catching up, right? Like they're as tall as you, they're as fast as you, they're as strong as you. So I think then my mindset changed to, you have to stay above those people and stay ahead of those people. And then once I got to high school, it was all about, it did become like a job, but at the same time, I wasn't going to quit something that gave me other opportunities like college. That was a huge, I knew I was going to swim in school no matter where I went. I wanted to more than I had to, but I had to also.
I feel like, so for wrestling, there's a saying, wrestling is training for the rest of your life. And from what I've seen with swimming, it's very much kind of the same thing. Like,
I agree.
Like you're year round, but like you have to be so committed, and you're doing all like your training, and even like, like we had some like some weird snafus that we would do like I don't know. I don't think Pete ever did it, but I did it a bunch of times where you'd shave your legs as a wrestler, like a male wrestler, right? But then I know for the men and the women swimmers, you're not shaving your legs the whole year, right? And this is like a thing for all of swimming.
It's a thing. For the guys, obviously it doesn't matter, but
but you're not shaving your legs for the whole year. And then when it comes time for postseason, you guys
need that drag.
Exactly. And it did work though. It did help, right?
Yeah, I mean, it helped. I mean, I think a lot of it, at least for me, I think what most people would say, it's like a mind over matter thing.
Yeah.
Like if you feel really good, you jump in the pool. It's like, water's
it's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice wrap up to the season to feel.
It also helps for mental preparation. It's kind of like
it was more
it's
mental.
kind of but it's also kind of like a fun thing you would do, like because there's a lot of pressure going into the postseason, so you need something to kind of break the tension a little bit.
Right.
And in the back of your mind, you're like, there's nothing I didn't do. There's nothing that my opponent did that I didn't do. So I could be as prepared as I could be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so you started swimming at 5. When did you start competing in swimming? Like, when does that start?
You can start that young, like if you're ready to. Again, like swimming's one of those things where there's it's kind of boring as a coach. As an athlete, it's not, but there's multiple heats of things, so it's not just one. In your guys' mind, like it's not just like one person shows up for that weight class. You could have 20 swimmers doing the same event, and it takes 5 heats to get there. So it drags on. So.
And just to cut, so Carlee, are you familiar with any of the Jersey swimming?
Yeah, I used to coach in New Jersey. Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I swam for a club called the Pheasant Run Flyers, and they were like really good. They were undefeated for a while, and they were kind of like it was a summer team. Yeah, I think they were the Wahoos. I think they all swam for the Wahoos in the winter. I was not very good. I kept getting DQ'd whenever I tried to do butterfly, so I never actually finished the race. But I remember one time Elmer Ganty actually talked about it on this because like Elmer Ganty from MWIP showed up to a meet, and we would come out to every single match blaring "We Will Rock You," and then after the end when we would blow them out of the water, we would end it with "We Are the Champions," and like that. Like so, the swimming mentality was pretty nuts over there.
Yeah, it's New Jersey's probably the same as Pennsylvania, where it kind of like runs the club swimming runs the gamut in New Jersey for sure. Pennsylvania is more high school, but yeah.
So also, but it is to be said, so you're calling it summer swimming because we're in Pennsylvania in the Northeast. You can't fucking swim outside in the winter, right? So you guys are, so was there regulations like that when you were a kid? Like if it was so like, let's say for this week, like earlier this week, it was like 80s, 90s. Then it gets down to like the 60s. Is swimming off that day, right? Or what's going on?
No. I mean, swimming doesn't start until, it doesn't matter if it's raining. As long as it's not lightning, you're swimming. At least that's how my mom ran things. So
nice. And
then in the wintertime, when summer's over, you start a whole new season. Do the same freaking thing.
Let's get into this because this is something I've seen this and it's fucking intense. So let's start at let's say we'll start in like when you were in middle school. There's no middle school swim team. You were swimming club still then, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for wrestling, we have entrances, right? And like some of them can be very fucking cool and very intimidating, and people put like a lot of effort into it, which is like, to be fair, it helps because it's like it's a big mental part of it too. You know what I mean? Like if you're like a small school, you go to this big place with this huge gym and they have like the lights down and a DJ and smoke and people running out and like this real intimidating thing. Like it does make a difference. Yeah. But so for when you're in club, is there like a entrance kind of chanting thing that you would do in club or what?
Not so much in club. No, we had cheers and stuff, which sounds kind of lame, but we had cheers that would, kind of pump us up, like team cheers and he said, she said, like back and forth, like things that would pump us up. In high school, like when you got to postseason and then in college, like, when I was at, in conferences or NCAAs or whatever, you do that.
Right. If you're cool with talking about this. So you're swimming, you're coming up. Obviously, your mom was the coach and everybody knew her, right? And everybody knew you were her daughter. Was there like a certain amount of pressure that you felt like having to fill the shoes of being the coach's daughter?
Yeah. I think, no, definitely. I also, it's tough being a coach's kid. It's really tough. Yeah. I was a jackass kid. Like I was a brat. So I caused the most trouble. I got yelled at the most, not because my mom was hard on me, because I was a jackass. But but on the other side of things, like there were definitely higher expectations. Work harder, don't be the last one in the pool, which I always was. Those kinds of things. But I think performing wise, I did well. So
you lived up to it for sure.
Yeah.
But there's still like, even if you were doing well, I think there's probably like a stigma of like, you feel like, oh, I'm still like, it
wears on you a little bit. I think by the time I got to college, high school, my mom wasn't around when I got to high school, but there was still like the pressure, once you do well, people expect you to keep doing well and to just kind of manage that. So it adds up.
So, okay. So are you cool?
Yeah.
All right. So when you're in 9th grade, right, you start swimming for the high school team, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then was your mom still there when you were in 9th grade?
When I started 9th grade, yeah. She died in the middle of 9th grade, like right at the end of my season.
All right.
Almost.
So you were 14?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Because August. So, okay. So you're 14, right? You have a younger sister. You're in the middle of like, your mom who's been there pretty much every day your whole life. And I unfortunately never got to meet her. But from what I heard, very, very, very nice lady, but a very like no nonsense lady from what I heard as well. Right?
No nonsense is a nice way of putting it. Yeah.
So, well,
there's a reason why Carlee became as good as she became.
Yeah.
Correct. Well, correct. But that kind of stuff, as a parent, tough love is a thing. Like, okay, so, and I've said
it was good tough love for sure.
Yes, and like obviously and we've talked about on the show, there's instances where it can be like parents can go overboard for sure. But I feel like there are instances where you can't coddle your kid either. Like, and I brought this up on the show, being that I'm a parent, and I'm not saying I'm a good parent. I'm actually probably a really bad one, but my wife is a really good one.
Right? Yeah, that's probably true.
But one thing I will say is that, like, and this is kind of a metaphor in a way, where like if my kid falls down, if she's not hurt, she has to pick herself back up. And that's not me being a dick. That's me letting her learn how to pick herself back up. And I feel like your mom kind of had that mentality. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just with me, with everybody. Like, yeah.
Didn't Carrie have a story about her where like she wanted to quit swimming or something, and your mom told her if she quit swimming, she would ruin her life or something like that?
I don't remember what happened, but I mean, that happened with a lot of people, but probably her too, because that came up a lot. But she didn't let you, if my mom knew that, she didn't let you quit. There was not a chance in hell that you were going to quit if she found out. I
would love that. That's a great coach and a great, like a great parent too. That is a great thing, because that's something like I always thought too, like, I hope this is how it works out with my kid. Like, okay, if my daughter wants to try a sport, right? And she does a sport and she doesn't say it's like softball, right? And she does it like for the year and she doesn't like it. That's fine. But you're not quitting middle of the season and banning your team and your teammates, right?
Oh,
that's not acceptable. You can finish the year and you don't have to play it again. But if you commit to doing something, you need to finish it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, I think that's kind of what your mom's mentality was.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what it seems like. So
yeah. I think sometimes we do talk like sometimes where coaches are too hard, and that does happen. But it is also important to point out like a good coach can have a huge impact on the rest of your life. And I still remember, the good coaches that had an impact on my life. And I think back, I'm like, like if that person wasn't in my life, would I turn out to be the man I am today? And the answer is probably not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're all standing on the shoulders of other people, they like to say.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, well, also like. Imagine, dude, remember when we were 14, like how impressionable young kids were we, like you need that kind of guidance. There's scoundrels everywhere. There's creeps everywhere, but like you also like, you do need those people that can like, that see potential and help you get the potential, like help work the potential out of you. And I feel like, that's something like like I think I know the coach you're speaking of, Pete, right? Castle, was he one of them?
Yeah. Castle and actually Mr. Fryling, but both of those, Mr. Fryling was
Mr.
my first coach, and then Castle later on in high school. And both those guys had a huge impact on me, keeping me with the sport.
See, that's great, man. And like the fact, I bet they would love to hear that, like that they probably didn't know they were making such a profound effect at the time, but that's just them being good coaches, Nice. So let's keep this going. Okay, so Carlee, you're in 9th grade, the end of your swimming season, and your mom passes, unfortunately, right? Mm-hmm. So then the next year, you kind of just stayed with swimming, right? Did you think like, did you think swimming was just like at this time, like you had the opportunity where you could have left swimming and, people would have been like, they understand, like, it's probably upsetting and all these things. Or did you use swimming as kind of like a catalyst to like remember your mom? And like, were there times when you were emotional at practice and stuff, like thinking like, oh, my mom would have done this, or if my mom was here, we'd be doing this kind of thing? Did that stuff ever come up?
Not so much at practice. I mean, I think I think for me, it was never a question that I was going to leave swimming. Like it never, even when I was like it never crossed my mind. Like it was, I wouldn't have known what to do without it. So, and then I think, but obviously there's pressure of, you don't want to look like you're falling apart. Like you want to stay. I mean, that drove me though. I mean, I didn't really hit a wall, which was good, but, and then I forget the last question you asked after that, but, as far as like emotional, not really during practice, but it's more so like once you're successful. Yeah. And, it's like, she's the whole reason I'm here. And, you want people to see it, and all the other people see it, but not the right people see it. So,
but but honestly, that's something, and I know she saw it, from wherever she was. And it's like, that's something that they need to see. And like, that is something that you should have, that's a great motivator to have. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It was nothing but motivation for me. I mean, I'm that's how I processed it, which is great. Yeah. I use it as a motivator. So
yeah. And it's tough because there is like, when you get into those scenarios, it's very much like when my dad passed, I was a lot older. So it was like a lot easier. I wouldn't say it was easier, but it wasn't as far
different.
As like,
you're in a different season.
Exactly. You're in a different time of your life where at that age, you really, and my mom has said this too, where it's like you really had to come together and grow up at a young age, So good. I mean, good on you for staying committed and doing that and not falling apart. And really like, I got the swimming. Did you think like being committed and focusing on swimming helped you stay in like a straight lane and stay committed, like, stay focused and all those things?
I mean, whether it means it keeps you busy, which is good or bad, I don't know.
Right.
Keeps your mind off things, but it gives you a focus. I don't do well without structure. So
same.
I think it's definitely, it was structure and something to put my mind to focus on.
Great. Good. And I'm happy it worked out. And I was there at the end of it to see it, and it was phenomenal. So, okay. So let's get off the sad stuff and let's move on to something else. So I have seen this. And for people who don't know this, an indoor swimming place is called a natatorium, right?
An indoor swimming place.
Yep. At the indoor swimming place called a natatorium. And at our high school, we had a natatorium, and it was a heated part of the building, and it was also humid. So the wrestling team, it had stands in there as well. So the wrestling team would go in there a lot and run so we could cut weight. So like I would spend like whole practices in there. When I would get like kicked out of practice, I would have to go in there and run, all that fun stuff. So either way, the natatorium, people know this, natatoriums are so fucking ungodly loud. They are so loud.
Oh, they're loud and 1,000 degrees.
Oh, like, so like we said, the school we went to, swimming was huge. They had like the boys swimming team had a record where they didn't lose a swim meet for like 20 something years. Right. Mm-hmm. And then the girls team was also like back to back state champions and like all the state titles and always like ranked in the state. Like the swimming program there is the #1 swimming program in the state of Pennsylvania, hands down, bar none, no questions asked. And they have been for a long, long time. So when you're there, right, like that built with that kind of success, it builds a huge following. So it's not just the parents, like there's kids from the school, there's other teams like when the teams would come to our school, they're playing the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like that swim team was the equivalent of the Yankees. You know, they're all.
Well, I guess what Barry said is like whenever somebody was coming to swim against North Penn, they were bringing their A game. They wanted to dethrone the champions.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. They could have had an off season, and beating North Penn would be their Super Bowl. Would you say that, Carlee?
Yeah. I mean, of course, it didn't happen, but
yeah,
it didn't happen. That's right.
A lot of them tried, but none of them succeeded. So, but that's honestly though, when you're at a level like that, you need that type of swagger. You know what I mean? Like you need to know, yeah, we're good, and we're gonna make sure you know we're good, and we worked to be good. It's not like you got good overnight. You guys, like we said, you were there in the mornings when we were there, and you were there at night when we were there, and you were there all damn day. And then even after you left, right? Like I know you did like the kid, like the youth program swimming and all that stuff. Like so you were just swimming 24/7, right?
24/7, yeah.
Yep.
Probably one of the things I remember from the natatorium is the smell of chlorine, like nonstop. When you like today, if you smell chlorine, the competitive juices get going. You just punch the lady next to you like in the painting eye, like get out of my way, I gotta get home.
Yeah.
I will say, okay, I never noticed it when I was in a pool my entire life, and now, like if I walk by a pool, it like hits me in the face. I never used to notice it before, but I think it was like in my pores though. Like when I sweat, it smelled like chlorine. I was just used to it. Yeah. But it brings back some memories. It definitely does. Yeah. The same way I'm sure a smelly gym mat brings back memories for you guys, right?
Yeah, and the smell of other men. You know what that does to me.
Okay.
So the thing is you can avoid the smell of smelly gym mats throughout the rest of your life. Like chlorine, you're going to encounter every once in a while.
Yeah. No, now I really notice it.
Yeah. So, all right, nice. So I do want to talk about this. So like we said, natatoriums are fucking louder than fuck, right? And I've been to a couple of swim meets that were like big time swim meets where like the team coming in, because the storyline was always like, this is the team that's going to dethrone the champs. Like the team, the boys team will actually lose against this team. And I went to a couple of those. There weren't many, but like the aspect of the thought that they would. And then, like, the boys' team would, like, just fucking sweep the diving and win every race. So it didn't fucking, the other team didn't have a chance. But I did want to say that I don't know if both the men and the women did, but I think the girls' team had, like, an entrance, right? And they did, like, a chant prior to the start of the meet. And I think the away team would get in the pool and do a chant as well. So what's that? So can you kind of explain what that is?
Oh, no. I hope... Well, I mean, so swimming, and I'm sure I know other sports have the same thing, but there's a ton of tradition.
No, they don't.
They do not.
All right. So, no, there's just a ton of traditions that, were, my mom swam for the same high school, like even back in the 70s and 80s, you're saying the same thing. We would, we had a chant. It was kind of like a tribal chant, and we do it in the water and jump up and down, and we had spirit water, and we
spirit water. All right.
We take water from our own pool and go to an away pool and dump it in. So it sounds weird when I say it now.
No, that's great though, because that's like a kind of like in your face. Your water isn't good enough. We had to bring our own. So
this is some like First Nations. We have to bless it. We're bringing the blessed chlorine water from Lansdale over here.
Would you have to travel on the bus with the spirit water?
Yeah.
So you'd be on the bus. Everyone's like touching the spirit water. Like, all right, let's go. Spirit water.
Yeah, no, you had the spirit water, and then we dump it in the pool, and we'd have our little chant, our little cheer.
What? Do you remember it?
I can't remember how. I don't remember what.
You already did the fucking Chippendale
you remember
song.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers, but you don't remember this chant you sang.
I know you fucking remember.
I can't help what gets stored in here. Okay.
You're
I remember how it goes, but I don't. I don't remember.
Was it the boys and the girls, or just the girl? Like, did you guys each do a separate one, or did you do it together?
Well, the girls and guys had one. Like, we would do one in swimming and water polo. Like, we'd link arms, we'd be in the pool.
Yeah.
The seniors would say, when I say whatever, you say whatever, and we'd jump up and down. And
yeah, and you're getting fucking hyped. And I remember,
way hyped.
Yeah. No, dude, the place is rocking because I remember at North Penn, the stands, and your old man was the one leading the chants where they had signs where it would be like, the Penn State gimmick where it's like, we are Penn State, we are.
Yeah.
Right? So your dad standing up in the middle of the stands with like a sign going, we are, and the rest of the stands is like, North Penn, we are North Penn, right?
That's
like,
crazy parents for you.
Well, like, and this is in a building where there's water, so the sound travels, and the ceiling, the way it was, is it echoes. Everything echoes. So it was so loud. It was so incredibly, incredibly loud. But it was still fucking badass.
It was really badass. The energy's awesome.
Yeah, I will say, like, it's like a big fight kind of feel. Like, it's a real deal. Like, you get fucking going,
Like, we've had Friday Night Lights and we've had Varsity Blues, but we need, like, Hollywood to get into, like, the like, high school swimming world and bring us to it, on the big screen.
It's a real missed opportunity.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean we had Swim Fan, and that's, like, the only movie. You guys remember Swim Fan?
I do remember Swim Fan,
Wasn't that a horror flick, though, where, like, it was, like, a murder?
Okay, yes. It was. So it wasn't even really about swimming. But when we were in high school, we thought, oh, my God, somebody's finally tapping into our sport. This is incredible.
Yeah.
But it was a murder movie.
Just another thing swimming and wrestling have in common, because there's only one wrestling movie, and it's called Vision Quest, and it's incredible.
Vision Quest.
And it's about a 23-year-old woman sexually assaulting a 17-year-old boy on the wrestling team.
Every
when you break it down.
Every 17-year-old boy's dream come true. He beats a roided out, no-neck stunad in a wrestling match, then bangs Linda Florentino. Oh, the dream come true.
Spoiler alert.
No, if you don't know, hey, the movie came out in like 87, so your alert's spoiled. So either way, yeah, I would honestly, I would love, I mean, why not do like the Michael Phelps story, just like they have the surgery where he has the webbed feet, and like, they show his breakfast where he would eat like 20 million pancakes and 50 waffles.
I want to see the Carlee Myers story, to tell you the truth.
Ooh, that would be an engaging one.
It's the same. It's 50 million pancakes and 20,000 waffles.
Yeah. Basically, I mean, you and Phelps are pretty much, same story, really.
But he stole my story. He stole the rights to my story.
Yeah, I would agree. The Carlee Phelps story. So, okay, so let's start then with some jobs. So you're in high school, you're swimming full time, but because you were swimming full time, you're able to work as a lifeguard in high school. Is this right?
Yeah, I started before high school. I guess, lifeguarding was the high school. But yeah, I worked at a pool most of my life.
Did any 7-year-old boys ever pretend to drown so that they could make out with you, or is that just in the movies?
Great question.
It's only in the movies.
It's only
strictly in the movies.
Yeah. So either way, okay. So I remember you were a lifeguard at Hatfield Pool, right? And I do remember that one day me and Peter Hosen came to the Hatfield Pool to hang out and see you. And you and Pete challenged you to a race where you cheated and got disqualified, and Pete won.
I don't remember the cheating going on, but I think I've erased that from my memory, I think.
Now, Carlee blew me out of the water. I remember, I was like, I swam for this good team, but I didn't remember how bad I was. And then I got into the pool, and I think by the time I took one stroke, you were all the way down.
Pheasant Run, you needed to step it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot of personal best ribbons.
Oh, all right. Nice.
I understand that, Pete. I hear you.
Look, Mom, it's blue. I won. No, that just means you did your best.
Is the personal best ribbon like the equivalent of a participation trophy?
Absolutely.
I know, but you did improve.
Yeah, but it's year over year. So as you grow, no one actually gets worse.
Yeah, even the worst don't get worse. So
you'd hope not.
It'd be like, oh, look, you got taller again. Here's the ribbon.
Okay, yeah, it's the equivalent.
So nice. All right. So like I said, you're lifeguarding there. So you started lifeguarding while you were still in high school. What kind of things were you learning as a lifeguard, and what kind of how did you get the job, and what kind of training did you have to get to be a lifeguard?
Oh my God. So, you're 15 and you're you basically learn that someone else's life is in your hands. It's so
Yeah,
scary.
how about it? Yeah, someone's child.
Yeah, someone's kid is in your hands, and are they drowning? Did they hit their neck? Do you have to back? You know, it's crazy. At 15, it's crazy. So, we trained. It's several months of training. You're there for multiple hours. You have to do a bunch of tests and practical stuff, and it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
so
you don't need most of that stuff once you get the job, but
right. But for
luckily,
insurance purposes, you have to have it. Yeah. Hopefully you'll never need it. Need it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay. So like you have to go through the testing and like, you know, like you have to get certified before you can get the job. Once you get certified, they're like, okay, you did the CPR gimmick, you did the swimming gimmick, you did the fucking surfboard gimmick, like all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then, so what is a day in the life like of a lifeguard? Like, how does it work?
A day in the life of a lifeguard at Hatfield Community Pool was you show up at 11:30. The pool opens at noon. There'd already be the crazy people out down the sidewalk with their tubes and their coolers full of PB&Js. And so you get there and you put out all the stuff, the tubes and the first aid stuff.
Were people fighting over like the good spots all the time?
Oh my
like the
God,
good
yeah.
bench? Oh wow.
Absolutely.
So you're great. So like before the day even started, you're like, all right, look, only one of you can have this bench. Someone else has got to go to the table. Fucking figure it out. Isn't the end of the world. Wow.
There were cool spots in the grass and not. So anyway, you set up the pool, you do all this other stuff, just to get the pool ready, and then you open, and then you rotate through chairs, and then you just kind of sit there and make sure nobody drowns.
Okay. So what's a rotation? Like how long are you on the chair?
You're there for 15 minutes, and then you bump to the next chair, and then you bump to the next chair, and then you come down. So it's 3 15-minute rotations, and then you're down for 15 minutes.
When I was a kid, it felt like a lifetime. It was like an hour in each chair. I thought that they were up there, but it's only 15 minutes.
I mean, in the dead of summer when it's 95 degrees, it's 15 minutes because they don't want you could fall asleep. I mean, it was so freaking hot. So you get up, you walk around. Now you're scanning a new area, new kids. You know, you can't get like used to anything because that could be somebody floating or sinking to the bottom. But
they want to keep you moving around so you'll keep paying attention.
Yeah, you gotta stay alert.
Does that work though?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no.
Okay.
But so then if you were lucky, then it starts to die down at the end of the night, 6, 7 o'clock, all the people go home. And then there's like this one lucky rotation that ends up getting 30 minutes somewhere, and you have to you had to plan early. Like at noon, you had to plan out the rotations in your head to know by 7 o'clock, I'm going to be the one that gets the half an hour breaks. It's a whole system. So there'd be some fights over who went where.
Oh wow. So like, look, you're like, look, I'm starting on chair 2 because I know when it comes to like nighttime, I'm gonna be the one that's out the whole time. What if there's like no one at the pool? Do you close or what's the deal?
Sometimes we'd get sent home. I mean, I worked like a dog, so I never went home. But
what?
Like a dog.
Like a dog.
Like a dog. And so,
like a dog.
Like on the slow days, we'd swim around, play around, goof off, prank call other pools.
Wait, you call over the pools?
There's like a rivalry?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's the best thing we used to do. I won't say any names about who did this, but we'd call other neighboring pools. And
like
let's say
pool?
Maybe. So, no, so like if it was like a rainy day, right? And we knew nobody was coming to the pool.
Yeah.
But we'd call another pool and we'd be like, hey, we got a, busload of kids. I know it's raining, but we're still coming. So then they'd keep all their people on. We'd say there's 30 people coming and there was nobody coming. So, we'd prank call them, or we communicate with like air horns so you can hear if there's a rescue. So we'd, they'd answer the phone and we'd just be like, beep, boop, boop, boop in the phone. So we do that kind of stuff.
See, I kind of like that prank because I feel like now you're giving people overtime and they're not even working. They're just chilling there like when it's raining. Let's get your cheap hours.
It was so fun.
Did people do that to you guys too?
Oh no, we set the precedence. No,
wow.
nobody.
Matt, those 4th Streeters weren't clever enough to pull those kinds of pranks.
You son of a bitch.
No,
they were too busy dealing with miscreants like Ron Scott Lesky. I remember.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
I remember when I guess so. There's like I bet you saw this. Was there like a time period where you would see a kid? Let's say they're like third, fourth grade, fifth grade. They're coming to the pool. You see them like every summer, and they're just like a normal kid, like having fun. And then like sixth grade, seventh grade, they start acting, trying to be cool. Then like seventh grade, eighth grade, they're like, oh, I want to be badass and get in trouble at the pool and like get kicked out and benched. Everyone wanted to get benched.
Oh, everyone wanted to get benched. Yep.
Yeah. So you want to be the cool guy that got benched, right? And then
they were the cool kids.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't get like there's a neighborhood legend in Lansdale, in 4th Street neighborhood of Lansdale, where there was a 13-person bench one time, and I was part of it. Just to let you know. For all you 4th Streeters listening out there, I still remember the 13-person bench. Shout out.
Hey, guys, want to be cool? Why don't we just go sit in the hot sun and not go into the pool for a while?
Well, we got benched for wrestling in the pool, so, you know. But everyone was, like, doing stunners, and I remember I gave Tommy Byers the Razor's Edge. That kind of put us over the edge. But either way.
You guys were the reason we have Adult Swim, which I hated as a kid.
Oh, isn't it the worst?
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
It was the worst 15 minutes.
Nothing worse than Adult Swim.
The only time we had the same concept that Fez run benching. I got benched one time, and it was because I went into the bathroom when they started Adult Swim, came out, jumped into the pool, and like, you jumped in the pool. I'm like, have I ever caused a problem in my entire life? Like, why am I going to start doing it now? Yeah. I'm still angry about that. I remember it. It's like, it scarred me.
Yeah.
So, Ron, I hope you're listening.
Yeah. So either way, so like I remember, so I was one of those kids that wanted to be a badass and getting benched at the pool and whatever. But that kind of phased out for me in like 7th, 8th grade, because then eventually you move on to like other things. But Ron Scott Lesky, I think, hit that late because he was in like 10th grade, 9th, 10th grade, and he's like getting kicked out of the pool for like 2 weeks at a time. And then like, you know. Yeah, he was like, dude, I'm going to go down the slide head first. Watch, they're going to get mad at me. And I'm like, dude, what? I don't even want to be here. Like, I'm trying to go somewhere, you know. But that was it.
Yeah, I got my older brother getting me like beer. We're like heading out in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I was like, we got a lot of other things. You should see Pete's trunk. It's a whole mess going on over here. But so you were benching kids and doing the whole thing while you were, you know, while you're having fun being a lifeguard. What would you say was your favorite part of being a lifeguard?
Oh, man. Okay, not necessarily in this order. Being tan.
Right. Number 1.
Chip witches.
Oh, big time witcher of the chippy.
And
Witchy chip. Didn't Mo work the snack stand?
Mo did work the snack stand.
Shout out Mo.
Hi Mo, I'll make sure he listens to this.
Shout out Mo Hey. Great dude. Hey, Mo Hey, if you want to be a guest, let me know.
I'll tell him to come on. No, I don't know. I work with some pretty awesome people. It was fun every day. Yeah. Like, who can say that about work?
I mean,
it was really fun.
I enjoyed working at a deli in high school. I can only imagine how much fun it was working at a pool.
But, yeah, and you're there with like a bunch of other like kids your age, you know what I mean? And like, there's probably like a couple older kids that would like take you under their wing and like hang out with you, and you're having like the pool parties and things like that. Like, yeah, that does sound like a blast. That's just another part of the Carlee Myers movie that's going to make it a big hit. You know,
you can yell at adults like, Cheryl, you cannot save the chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite part was yelling at adults. I love that.
Oh, you love yelling at everybody.
That's true.
That is true. Okay.
Oh my God, yelling at people.
Yeah, that's your whole life.
That's why she's a personal trainer now, folks.
Yeah. They call her old Drill Sergeant Myers. So. Yeah, we feel really feel for your husband. I'm sure he's just
didn't realize they piled stacks of shit that high, Lavelle. 5 more push-ups.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to use that in the gym next time.
Yeah. I've been using when I'm like teaching boxing class, I'll yell at them. I'll call them turkey farmers. I don't know where it came from, but it fucking works.
That sounds
turkey farming sons of bitches. That's what I call them. Yeah. So all right. So let's keep it moving. So you're a lifeguard, and then were you a swim coach in high school, or was that in college?
I took over. I started coaching the summer after I graduated.
Okay.
So like, yeah.
So Carlee, when you were getting recruited for college, how does that work in swimming? Because like I know it's like a timed event. Like, did coaches come out and see you swim and like look at your stroke, or was it just kind of like we got your times and this is who we like? Like how did that process kind of work out? Because I've never really heard the recruiting process on the swim side.
Yeah, that's what coaches. I mean, at least, yeah, that's what they do. They come out and watch you swim. They'll come to a meet or probably like at the end of your season, like they'll watch more so like your junior year because, swimming and wrestling's kind of the same. By the time you're done, you're basically already know what you're doing next year. So yeah, they'll come out and watch you swim or like you reach out to a school or they reach out to you and then you send them your info.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you send them your info and then if they're interested or you're interested, you set something up and then you go on a recruiting trip and see if you like the team. But yeah, they come and find you primarily.
And like, I guess my other question is like, so like in wrestling, like sometimes, like you'll have a kid that started wrestling late. So like, not that he didn't win states or place at states, but you're like, oh, this kid did better than a guy that had been wrestling for 3 years. Does that happen with swimming where like, you're kind of like, okay, this person doesn't have the best time, but they've only been swimming for 2 or 3 years and they made it to states. Like they didn't win, but if you kind of extrapolate what you think they can do, yeah?
Yeah, no, you have to extrapolate. That's a good word. That's exactly what you do, though. Like, you have to imagine, like, these people's bodies haven't been put through the shit that you just did for the last – I mean, even if you swim since you were 5, but you got to think high school and before that.
Yeah, it's a whole different game.
You start picking it up a little bit and your body gets beat up. But if somebody's new and that good, yeah, I would jump on that. There's so much potential there.
What would you say is the most prevalent injury in swimming?
Rotator cuff tear.
Oh, the shoulders. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. Not the legs, not the knees, nothing like that?
No, because it's overuse. Like it's everything's forward. So
and you're doing.
And is there a certain stroke that leads to it? Like, is there one stroke that's more dangerous than the other?
I mean, it's.
I gotta imagine.
You can admit it's butterfly. It should exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say the butterfly.
I was a butterflyer, but and that's.
A fellow flyer, eh?
But yeah, I mean, I can speak to it. I mean, I have 2 torn rotator cuffs. So.
Oh, did you really?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, but you kind of obviously they're not as drastic. I never got them fixed or anything, but you kind of just learn to live with it. But definitely swimming. Everything's overuse forward.
Yeah.
Repetitive motion type of thing.
Nice.
And one last question on swimming. Why does breaststroke exist?
Competitively?
Wasn't it? Well, hon, wasn't
like it's by far the slowest stroke.
Well, no, but I thought it was this. So the breaststroke was originally designed because the military used it to swim with a pack and rifle on their back. That's how they would swim, would be the breaststroke.
Oh, I never knew that.
I think that's right. I mean, fucking research it. Let me know. But I think your boy, old Uncle Matty, just dropped some fucking knowledge real quick.
I feel like I just got schooled. And I listen to everything I read on the internet, so I'm just going to believe this.
Yep. People should. But
everything on the internet is true, including this podcast.
Because I think, I believe, well, this podcast never lies. Ever.
That's true.
Yes. So, but I believe the breaststroke was originated to swim with military swimming to swim with a pack and rifle on their back.
That makes sense. It has so it had a functional use. It's not like someone was just like, let me see how slow I can swim and beat other people.
Yeah, let me see if I can swim like a fucking stunad.
It's a little leisurely, but it's a pretty powerful stroke once you get into like college and the Olympics and stuff.
Nice.
It was my best stroke, so it was the stroke I lost the least at.
All right, Peter. I heard you're pretty good at the breaststroke. Well, you're married, so you don't get to do that anymore. But either way, so let's keep. Oh, okay. So before we move on to you swimming in college, I do want to talk about this because this is something that we'll probably. I don't know if we'll ever see it again. But you were also. Did you guys win the state championship in water polo?
Not my year, no.
Because I know you came runner-up, and I remember seeing a picture of Slorce with these 2 girls that were on the eventual state championship team, where Slorce is like 5'2", and these girls were like 6'4" each, and they were playing water polo, and they were like just
twins.
I believe so. Redheads, I believe.
Oh my God, yeah, good memory.
But they were just like I just remember because those were like. Because you guys like, yeah, who's gonna like what the fuck, right? Are we
They
playing
were,
like
oh
the
my
mountain
God,
from Game of
they
Thrones?
haunt. They literally are the mountains. Yeah, they were from Cumberland Valley. I'll never forget. I can't remember their last name, but they were frightening. Not
Yeah.
a lot scares me, and these women, they scared me.
Yeah. So
They
what?
were intense.
Well, I can imagine. So can you kind of? I don't really know the rules of water polo. So what's the deal? So I know it's like the object of the game is to score a goal, right?
Yeah.
But how
Hashtag
do
sports.
like what? Yeah. So what is what was that?
I said hashtag sports.
Oh, dynamite dropping. So either way. So, but I know, yeah. So I know the object of the game is to score a goal. But what is? So do you have to swim the whole time? Like, what are the rules?
Okay, so
Like,
you
how
swim
does
the
it
whole-
start?
All right, so it starts with a face-off, and so
Whoa, 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 whoa!
whoa, yeah, that'll
Face-off?
pump you up. Well,
Like hockey?
okay, not a face-off, a swim off.
A jump ball?
Wait. So they
You-
put the ball in the middle, and you got to swim to it, like dodgeball.
Exactly.
Dodgeball in the water.
Yeah, so you drop it in the middle, and then you have your sprinters on the outside. You line up across the pool.
Yeah.
They blow the whistle. You take off. You put your sprinter on one end. They get to the ball. They pass it back, and then you just maneuver down the pool like soccer or like anything.
Are you allowed to like if someone's so? But so do you have to hold the ball and swim at the same time?
Yeah. So you palm it. I mean, this is if you're decent.
Right.
Palm the ball.
Yeah, not for scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for schlubs. No. So you swim like that. I don't know if you guys can see me. I'm demonstrating it.
So
We
you're
can say, oh yeah, we
No,
can
it's-
see. Yeah.
No,
I'll
what's-
describe it. She's swimming.
No.
you
What's
palm-
the name of the stroke? The normal stroke. What's the original
Freestyle.
stroke? So
Freestyle.
it's like you're swimming freestyle while palming the
Front
ball.
paw
Right.
for our European audience.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The
Look at
front.
you.
Yeah.
Old
front
PD
crawl.
cultures over here.
Yeah, so you palm the ball and you swim that way. Otherwise, you put it in front of your face and it just kind of bobs in front of you while you swim head up like a Tarzan kind of thing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So so say you have the ball and I want to get the ball. So do I just come over and like try and take it out of your hands, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Oof.
I mean, one of my things I like to do is swim up alongside somebody, and then I slide my arm in, I match their stroke, and then I flick the ball out of the center, like out of their space. I flick it in front of me.
Whoa! Are you allowed to touch the walls or the floor?
No.
Oh, wow! So
No,
you can't
yeah.
touch. So if you touch the wall, is that like out of bounds, and the person gets like?
Yeah.
Even if you don't have the ball, you're not allowed to touch the wall.
Nope.
Man, and you're not allowed to touch the floor either. So
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of the older pools were like, North Penn wasn't deep enough, for instance, so we had to kind of sit on one leg and like tread water. But
oh, that sucks.
But normally it's deep. It's deep. It's both sides.
Now, Carlee, I heard
Yeah.
a nasty rumor. I don't know if this is true. Do people like at high level?
It's probably
water
true.
Do they sharpen their toenails to kick each other?
Oh, I thought you were going to go worse than that. Okay.
What?
Wait,
There's
there's
worse?
So answer
Hold
this,
on.
and then we'll go on.
Yeah.
We'll get to this, and then we'll extrapolate.
No, well, so they check your nails in water polo, primarily your fingernails, not your toenails. But I've gotten you get some nasty slices from people's toenails.
Really?
But there's a fingertip check before you play.
So they check your fingertips. They're not checking the tootsers, which is fine. What's another
No.
nasty thing? Biting, hair pulling, leg.
Well,
leg
you're wearing
hair
a
pulling?
cap.
Oh, you wear a cap. Okay, so no
I mean,
hair.
you got to
pulling.
think. I mean, I know what goes on. A lot of your body's underwater, so what you're grabbing and
Yeah, what can they see?
Oh,
Right, exactly.
wow.
So
So
what
guys are getting kicked in the plums and everything.
He was plumb surprised when it happened.
Yeah, exactly. So there's all kinds of that stuff going on, but
man.
you kick them in the stomach or grab or pinch people where they don't want to be grabbed or pinched, or maybe
Oh
they
my
do. I don't
God.
know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's intense.
Like that is a sport. I don't think people realize how tense it get. And I'm just like, we need more water under cameras to make this sport a bigger sport. Because if people realize, it's like,
Yeah, that's why the Olympics. The Olympics is awesome because you can see they have underwater cameras at the Olympics, so you can see what's going on.
Do they show this stuff though of like the Czech guy kicking the German guy right in the go hands and doing all that, or what?
I mean, it happens kind of quickly, so you're not probably seeing that, but
could you imagine, like, you swim over there, right? And then you go for the ball with one hand, and then you nut tap him with the other hand, or you kick him or knee him. Oh,
Yeah,
my
I'm
God.
thinking like you get checked for oil. All of a sudden, you find a thumb somewhere it's not supposed to be. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't care about the sport that much.
Yeah. And, like, plus, too, like, literally, they're wearing the least amount of clothing there is when they're playing.
Clothing.
Yeah. Is that, like, a thing for men swimmers, like the smallest Speedo you can get?
It's if you're the guy in the big Speedo, it's weird.
Wow.
Like if you have like full coverage, like it's big, it just looks, it's weird. But
Wow,
it's typically pretty small.
I always thought it'd be the other way around, but I'm just an American. What can I do?
Yeah.
But I remember for the females, I remember you saying like you guys would always go like a size smaller on the swimsuits, and you'd have to like help each other like put them on, right? Yeah.
Well, and water polo suits are rubber, so you can't grab them. So they get zipped up. So the material doesn't stretch, so you have to pull it and make it real tight because you can't grab somebody's suit. There's no stretchiness to it because otherwise you get dragged around.
Yeah.
So they have to be rubber and like real thick.
Yeah, the Mountain's Daughters would have been throwing you around the damn pool.
Oh my God. They were.
What would you say? Like, okay, but are you allowed to be physical in water polo? Like, are there elbows fucking flying and stuff? Like, what's going down?
No, that kind of like takes away from like the integrity of the game. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to play. Like right at this point in the game now, whatever, 15, 20 years later, you're supposed to play the game. I mean, it's pretty physical, and it's back before it was kind of physical, but pretty physical, but now it's like, they want you to play. So if you get physical, you're kind of done. So
I guess that's the question is how do they enforce it, or is it just more of like a gentleman's agreement? Like, hey, we want to play the game. Let's not get out of it. Like, are the refs like hardcore on enforcing it? Like, is there penalties like in hockey? Is it fouls like in soccer? Or
is one of the rules no attempting to drown?
No. That's the goal, is to not drown. But I think now you kind of just realize refs don't call everything. So like they'll let a bunch of shit go. And so then you're like, oh, this attempt at faking a foul or faking an injury or whatever isn't working. You're not just going to keep wasting your energy doing that. You're just like, all right, I'm going to play.
Oh, I see.
So they'll just let stuff slide, and then you just end up getting your ass kicked because you're hyping something up to look like you're getting the crap kicked out of you and hype up a foul, but they're not going to call it. They're just going to let you go.
Oh.
So LeBron James would not do well in water polo.
No.
Any European soccer players would not be very good. So, all right, nice. So I will say this: that is like legit. I'm trying to think of it now. I couldn't imagine swimming, right, and then trying to like throw a ball fast. That's like the size of a volleyball, right?
It's pretty. It's pretty big.
Yeah, and it's like not light. Like trying to do that while wading in the water. That's a legit skill.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Are you allowed, like, say I'm near, like, if me and Pete are on the same team, am I allowed to go to Pete and, like, push off of him and throw? Like, to get myself out of the water, like, use him to, like, raise myself up and then throw? Or is that not allowed?
No, you use your legs to propel yourself up. So you tread water, and then, your legs and your abs and everything are real strong. So you kind of propel up, and you get up to, like, your belly button out of the water, and then you fire into the goal or a pass or whatever it is.
Pete, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say that's the kind of stuff that I love in the Olympics is like, it's the water polo, it's the cross country, like shooting games. It's all this stuff I never see before. So that is coming up soon, everybody.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Tokyo 2021. What is, okay, when's the last time you played water polo?
My late 20s. I played in an adult league. It was humbling.
Really?
It was rough.
Was it a co-ed league?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it's co-ed. You play every Sunday down in Villanova, and I just got my butt handed to me all the time. And practices are like 9:00. It's like, that's not for me. Yeah. I've been going to work before 5 like forever, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
She retired the nail file. Those days are behind her.
I did. I would love to get back to it, but I'm retired for now.
She hung up the swim cap and called it a day. But nice. All right, fans, time for Breaking the Action to bring back one of our favorite segments. This is Give It a Shot with our good friend Bob Quinn. If you're sick of wasting time surfing on a streaming service, finding nothing, then going to another streaming service and doing the same damn thing, then you need to start giving shit a shot. On this new segment, Give It a Shot, Bob will give us some suggestions on what to watch so you stop wasting your time surfing and start enjoying those subscriptions that you're stealing. Bob, give us a shot.
Coming at you from Sci-Fi and Netflix. This week we're going to do the TV show The Magicians. This isn't your standard Harry Potter story. These kids are real, and this story is real. This college is crazy. What I'm saying is, give it a shot.
All right, that was Give It a Shot with our good friend Bob Quinn. Now, back to the show. Nice. All right, so let's keep it moving. So when you were in high school, you swam at a very high level. Then you got a full scholarship to swim at the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, right? So you went to swim there. And how did you like swimming in college? What was your?
I loved it.
Really?
I mean, it was. Well, first of all, coming from a good school like North Penn prepared me for college.
Right.
So I can't say, I mean, it was a different type of intensity, right? Like you're on your own, like you're managing school and living on your own and stuff like that. I mean, but it's still a lot. Like it's, 3-4 hours a day and Saturdays and whatever. Traveling, missing school. Yeah, no, I mean, I loved it. I mean, it was, I loved every second. I was happy when I was done. Like my body was done, but but I loved it.
Yeah. So as far as physical challenges go, I do remember this. So correct me if I'm wrong. We're the Indiana Indians, chiefs of the night. We're tough sons of bitches, and we love to fucking fight. Highty tighty, God almighty, who the hell are we? Zip zam, goddamn, we're IUP. Am I right?
Oh my God. What?
Don't know where that came from, but fucking
that might supersede the Chippendales physical challenge.
That's what I'm saying, people. This is what this podcast brings you everything.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is impressive.
Well, I mean, I've never heard that from a woman, so that's nice.
Yes, that is the cheer. Although they're not they can't be the Indians anymore, but
oh shit.
That got taken away.
Did it really? What are they called now? Do you know?
They're the Crimson Hawks.
Fucking stunads.
Yeah. We went through a lot of changes when I was there. But yeah, no, that's our chant. It's pretty awesome.
Nice. And I'll tell you what, that's a fun school. And like, were you guys competitive because were you D1 or what was the level?
No, we were D2 and I mean, we were pretty competitive. I mean, they're so awesome now. I mean, again, like 15 years later, but they're really, really good. They've come a long way, but we went through like a lot of coaches when I was there. It was a shitstorm of a coaching staff to start.
So you were like a transition kind of school at the time, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were still pretty good. And I mean, I had a good career and I don't know. I thought it was great. So, we were competitive. No, I wouldn't change it.
Nice. That's fun. And like, what would you say? So like, was it year round swimming there? Like even in the off season, you still had like team training sessions and things like that?
Yeah. So, I mean, when we came home, we were expected to swim for ourselves. Some people did, some people didn't.
Wow. Wow. Fucking no names here. Jesus. Okay. You're not fucking pissed about it 12 years later. Jesus Christ.
No, but I mean, I spent my summers like swimming, but no, when we got to school in August, you started swimming right away. And we swam, as soon as conferences or NCAAs were over, you'd take a week off and then you'd swim until the end of finals and go home and swim some more.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Yeah. It was great.
A lot of camaraderie with the other athletes. Were we partying with the other sports teams over there? Not really.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. It was so much fun. I would go back in a second. I know that's so lame, right? Like in our, but
believe me, same here.
It's true. No, we had so much fun. It was such a tight. The athletes were such a tight knit community. It made all the difference. It was awesome.
Would you say the same for you, Pete, when you wrestled at Drexel, tight knit group?
Yeah, and then again, we hung out with all the athletes. So, we hung out with lacrosse players, field hockey, basketball, like swimmers, like everyone just kind of, because we all went to the same study hall. So you kind of knew each other. You had the same kind of a thing,
Yeah, you ate at the same time. You slept at the same time.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Okay. Nice. Glad to hear. So let's keep it moving then. So you're swimming at IUP. It's the same old rigmarole. You're fucking knocking fucking dicks down and killing fucking motherfuckers with your swimming, all that fun stuff. So you're okay. So when was do you remember when your swimming career ended? What was it, like 2006?
February 2007.
Okay, nice. And you went out with a bang, fucking crushed it, killed it as per usual.
I did go out with a bang. Yes, I won a conference championship. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, look at you!
What was the conference, Carlee?
It was we were in the PSAC conference, PSAC.
The Pennsylvania State. Yeah. So,
yep. So and then so that was my final year, which is pretty awesome.
That's badass. Good for you. That's great. That's really great. Congratulations.
For all the listeners out there, write to your representatives and save the PSAC schools because they're a little bit of trouble right now because of a budget crunch, but we got to keep those PA schools going.
Damn right. Damn right.
Amen.
So let's keep it going. So you graduate from college, you're done swimming, you come back to Lansdale, Pennsylvania, land of the free, home of the brave. And is this when you started working as a physical therapy aide?
Yep. Yeah, almost. I worked in a gym for a couple months before that, and then I got my first real job probably 6 months after I graduated, maybe.
Okay, so you're 6 months you're working here. How long were you working as a physical therapy aide before you decided to start traveling?
I was there for 9 years.
Yeah.
Oh Lordy.
9.5. Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah. But in the 9 years you were there, you traveled to a bunch of places while working there, right?
While I was there, I mean, the nice thing about that job is that it did allow me to travel because we were allowed to take, we didn't get set vacation, so I could take what I wanted. But yeah, I mean, I probably went on my first big trip, maybe right after college, and then a couple more spread out through while I was working there. So that was
nice. So, but I know, and it's the same for me. I really didn't get into traveling. I wish I would have done it more.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
I was working and but now that I have a kid, I'm fucking never going to travel again. So, but for you
can always watch the Travel Channel, Matt.
Yeah, that's just
a nice alternative.
Yeah, it's kind of but it's kind of like watching the Food Network and getting hungry. At least if I get hungry, I can eat something. And watching the Travel Channel, it's can't just pack up and go to Dublin. You know what I mean?
If I just get the kiddie pool set up, put it in my backyard, put it on the TV, watch the Travel Channel. Oh, look at that! I'm in Bali.
Look at you! All right, old Timbuktu Petey Mac. There you go. So. Okay, so Pete's in Bali doing his thing. What was your what was one of your first big travel trips, Carlee?
My first big trip, I guess, was probably Australia.
Whoa, down under, shrimp on the bobby.
Yeah.
How many times did you say that when you were there?
0, as a matter of fact. I was in the most remote place in Australia you could ever imagine. It was not
in the middle of the continent, it
was not in the middle, but we met a bunch. We were 8 hours south of Sydney. It was down the coast in a bunch. Everyone lives pretty close to the coast because that's where all the resources are. But
yeah.
Oh my God. And it was winter. Didn't know that. Didn't realize that our seasons were flipped because I'm an idiot. And
was it actually cold though, or do they have winter or?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it got down into the 40s at night, and I was living in a boxcar for 3 weeks.
Oh, man. Fudge.
Yeah, so I froze my butt off.
Hold on. So how did you get hooked up with this trip? There's no travel guide that's hey, boxcar tours, or what the hell did you do?
So here's how it went down. I went to a biology class, and I got to be honest, I didn't really go because it was really difficult, so I just decided not to go.
Sure.
My senior year, and these two people came in and talked about this awesome trip they went on. It was called Student Volunteer or something.
Okay, so
And
you
I
were
was
still
like,
in
"Oh."
school when this started. Like this was.
Well, I planned it, yeah, and then I didn't go until after I graduated. But so yeah, somebody told me about it, and then I looked it up later, and I don't know why, but I picked Australia, and then I flew to Australia by myself, and I spent 3 weeks there, and it was cold and remote, and there was no electricity. Everything was like solar powered and like by fire. It was crazy. It was crazy, but it was really fun.
God, what?
Yeah, it
what
was
like,
so fun.
Great experience.
Oh, it
Happy
was
you went?
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really awesome. It was very cool.
What would you say was your favorite thing about going there?
It wasn't the spiders that were the size of my hand. I can tell you that.
Yeah, those huntsman spiders.
Oh my God. I mean, once I left the farm that I was living on, I spent 3 days in Sydney, and that was pretty awesome. It was also my birthday while I was there. So cool story. It was my birthday, and then I flew home, and it was my birthday.
Whoa! Whoa!
Only
Double
for like
dipping Carlee.
for like a split second, but it was pretty awesome.
That is cool. That's a cool experience, though. The whole thing seems like it was fun. Like, that's one of those countries where like people, like not a lot of people get to go to and spend time. And you seem like you got the true, like, you weren't just hanging out, going to all like the happy doo-wop kind of schmeckle places. You were
there
like
was no happy doo-wop where I was.
Yeah, you were living in the bush, hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome.
I don't want to get too serious or deep, but did a dingo eat your baby?
I made it home dingo free.
How many Hemsworth brothers did you see?
0. What the hell?
Oh, man, you really missed out.
It was awesome.
Yeah, must be nice. Russell Crowe stopped by, all those guys?
Not where I was.
Bummer. So, okay. So, is it true that everyone that's from Australia is like ridiculously good looking?
Not some. I think where I was, maybe these people had kind of been like living remotely for a while, and it kind of showed. Should I say that?
A lot of meth. Yeah, a lot of meth.
No, not meth. Just a little unkempt.
All right. I see. All right. So, okay, nice.
They were getting ready for the swim season. They were letting the hair grow out. And
there you go. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So, okay. So, all right. So you come back and you're still working in the physical therapy. And so when you were a physical therapy aide, you said you did that for like 9 years. What was like a day in the life like for a physical therapy aide? What would you do? Like you get up and you go to the place, the studio,
yep.
And what's your day like? What's going on? What time are you getting up?
I mean, I opened some days, so I was there at 5:30.
Nice and late.
And if anyone that worked with me is listening to this, they'll tell you it was 5:40, so I was typically behind.
Yep.
So yeah. So just to be clear, I was on time today. Anyway, yeah. So I get there. You open the building, and when I first started, we were on paper charts. So I mean, we were a pretty busy office. So we had just hundreds of charts of people coming in that day. And you'd take people through their exercises, check them in, meet with a therapist, kind of work together to kind of carry out their care. Then we moved to computers. So then we just kind of travel around with our little laptops or whatever.
And Carlee, was this mainly people with injuries, people with degenerative problems, like elderly? Like, was there a certain kind of clientele you just...
It was everything. So it was, young athletes with an ACL tear in basketball. It was, young kids that like growth plates were weird, and adults who had surgeries, weekend warriors, guys playing basketball on the weekends, tearing their knees up.
Yep.
Little old ladies whose backs were so bad they were staring at their feet, all over the place. Carlee, I know, right? They're sweet.
Another question. So I tore my patella tendon a couple of years ago and had to do did you do the graduation where it's like your last day and you do the class? Yeah.
What is, no.
You have to do that.
What is this?
They break up.
So some people are there for, months and months and months. So But when you're done, we call it graduating, and they graduate from care and they're moving on to like the next stage of their life, going back to the gym or going back to not the gym or whatever. So yeah, we graduate, we give them a t-shirt, we take their picture, we say, oh, we hope to not see you again. It's probably the same everywhere you go, but
yeah, it's a nice little thing to
you
get
celebrate.
everybody hooked up.
Exactly, yeah, you celebrate their success.
That's cool though. That's fun.
Yeah.
Like you gotta break it up. Like, do you really though? Like, so we said this before. One of the big things with personal training is you have to develop a relationship with your clients. When you're a physical therapy aide, how much of a relationship are you developing with the clients? Like, you do have like a
huge
with them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your job is to take them through their exercise, but I mean, these people come in like a significant amount of pain, and you're there to take them through it. Like, it's terrible. Or sometimes they're crying, or it's like it's not always pleasant. So you have to be like the go-between between the painful stuff and making it enjoyable. So
you can't just work out somebody's knee in silence.
No. It's a lot of time. With insurance, it's a lot of money. So you got to make it worth your while. So
I mean, but the success is worth it though. Like, it must be very rewarding to see someone come in who's like. Because they have to be really depressed and really down at first and know, like, God damn it, this is so, and it's really tough and it's really a struggle. So to be part of that journey and to help them get through that and then see the graduation and reward at the end, that must be very gratifying work. And you should be proud that you're doing that.
Yeah, no, it's what keeps, and that's why I do what I do now too. I mean, it's the same. It's a lot of fun.
Now she's on the preventative side of it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to that then. So like we said, Carlee Myers personal training. The link will be in the description for all her stuff. Look her up. I've had a bunch of people that go to Carlee that said it is phenomenal and like really, really helpful and really good stuff. So make sure you check it out.
Carlee, where is your gym located?
Downtown Lansdale.
Off of Main Street?
She's by like Main and Oak Drive, like right around there.
I mean, I'm right downtown, so I'm by the restaurants and the cross street is Wood Street. Yeah, right on Main Street, right in the center of town. Can't miss me. Got about a 400 size font on the window with my initials on it. So if you see my name, you found the right place.
And there'll be directions in the link and everything. So we'll have all that. So nice. So great. So okay. So let's move on to that. So like we said, Carlee, you were at the physical therapy aide for like 9 years. Then you decide, schlep. I'm making my own place. As far as I've known you, you've done great with authority. Just great. So not having a boss must have been difficult for you.
It was time to not have a boss.
Yeah.
I listen, in terms of challenges, if a challenge of having the fattest personnel file were a thing, I would win. At my old place.
Wow.
So now at my old place, hence why I don't have a boss anymore. So now that I'm my own boss, I can so I don't have to respond to anybody.
So, but is it worth it? So I remember there was a bunch of years where a bunch of people had offered me an asshole, like, been like, dude, you guys should open a bar, like, we'll back you, like, all this stuff. And I remember I worked at this place called Christopher's in Wayne. And I remember I went to the owner of Christopher's, and it's a mom and pop shop. And I went to the owner of Christopher's, and I was like, hey man, like, what can you give me some advice? Like, what about this? He's like, look, just know this. When you own a place, you work every day, right? And you'll be if it's a bar restaurant, you're going to be there every day for the first 5 years. Just know that. So do you have that kind of experience now where like you're at your place now, like you're working like every day you have to work, right?
Every single day, every hour. I mean, we're lucky that we're busy enough that I have to do that. But yeah, I mean, even I started out with a small place out on Broad Street in Lansdale, and then I moved to this new place. And it's just, when you sign up for commercial real estate, it is, you're in charge of everything. And then you wear all the hats.
A little intimidating when you sign that lease and you're like, all right, here we go.
Right. Like, today, like today my like bathroom, like I didn't have a bathroom for a few hours. Like, that's my responsibility. In addition to the marketing, the actual training, the responding to email, like you wear all the hats.
Yeah.
And I mean, so this is just like I was in the tax world forever in accounting. I know a lot of times when you do commercial real estate, it's what they call triple net leasing. So it's like you're renting,
Yep.
so you think, oh, I don't have to carry about anything. But with a triple net lease, you're basically the owner. So it's like
Yeah.
I get none of the benefits of being the owner, but I have all the responsibilities.
No, the triple net. I had no idea what that was. The first couple realtors I talked to would talk to me about that as if I knew what the hell they were talking about. And then I found out it's just basically it means you get none of the benefits of owning it, and it's all this extra money they can charge you. And yeah, it's a lot. Commercial real estate's a lot. It's intense.
Commercial real estate is a racket.
It is a racket. It is. That's exactly it.
Wait. So what is the triple lease gimmick? So like,
You want me to explain this, Carlee, or?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Pete, please do.
So normally, like, you either rent or you own, right? And the benefit of owning is that you own the property. That's yours into perpetuity or until you can't make the payments. And the reason that you rent, the reason you rent an apartment is because you don't have to care about the property, right? Somebody else, like if your plumbing, if your electric work isn't working, you get them. With a triple net lease, you take on all that responsibility. So basically, like if you want to change anything, the landlord doesn't do it. You have to fix it. If your plumbing breaks in your bathroom, you have to fix it. If your electrician doesn't work, you have to fix it. Like, so that's kind of the way it works.
But it's all, but you're still paying rent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you don't own it. You're leasing it, but anything that you're doing to change the building or improve the building or fix the building is on the tenant. They pass all the liability to you.
Okay, so it's kind of like you're paying rent and everything, and you can do whatever you want to the building. You just you don't have to ask the landlord. Like you're still paying rent, but it's kind of like you have
the thing is, there's nothing to really ask the landlord about. Like unless like the parking lot's screwed up. Like if there's something goes wrong with the building, you kind of have to take care of it.
Right.
Oh, that sounds like
Yeah.
why the. I mean, I guess that's kind of a trap then, because they know you can't buy it. So if you can't buy it, they force you into the triple lease. So they kind of handcuff you. And then if something fucks up, you still have to take care of it. So they really man, that is a fucking racket.
Yeah. You put your name on a lot of stuff. I mean, my first place was one page. I basically subleased it. My landlord took care of everything. I just wrote him the same check every month. Now my lease is like 36 pages. It's like so many addendums. Now we had a windstorm last January and part of the roof blew off. So I would have leaks in my gym all the time. So that's not me. If the roof is not my responsibility because there's other things that use the building.
Okay.
Yep.
But I had to pay more per month because our common area, the roof, was more. So I essentially paid for it,
Yeah. Because an increase in the monthly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't want to go to die. I just want people to understand, owning a small business comes with a lot of, some people think it's just if you rent, you don't have to worry about this. You just say it's more complicated than some people think.
Yeah. I think some people think that when they write me a check at the end of the month, they think it's going in my pocket and I'm going on vacation. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm going to take
10 cents out of this.
Yeah. I'm going to take my $5 and I'm going to go fix a freaking bathroom that just broke.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess.
Wouldn't trade it in, though. I'm not meant to have a boss, so here I am.
If you love what you're doing, that's the whole reason you do it. The trade-off is hey, no one's my boss. I'm my own boss. I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But we are big supporters of small businesses on the Working Perspectives podcast, the lifeblood of America.
Fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Big time supporter. And people don't know this too. And I will say this, when you go into something, either if it's your own business or a creative venture or something where you're putting yourself out there, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of work to do that. And there's generally people that will want to shit on you to make themselves feel better because they're working some mundane bullshit where they're not happy and they didn't take a chance and they're too scared to put themselves out there and they want to shit on you. But you're having the courage to do that and you working at it and committing, that should be commended for you to have that kind of courage and strength to do that, because not a lot of people do that anymore. But you being able to do that and having the fortitude to stick to it, I very much congratulate you on that, because that's something you should be proud of. No, you should be very proud of that. And from you should. And from what I've heard, you do a great job, right? We did when we were researching you as a guest, right? And we talked to people that have been to your place and things like that. They fucking love you and they love your place. So you can't the word of mouth really, I always felt was the best advertising. And that's kind of what you get, like you're really like, you're the people's champ with this place. So you should be very proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So let's keep it moving. So you own your own business, right? And you're working every day. What would you say is like, are you really like, you have like your work that you're doing, right? And like, if you just have like a normal work day, like that's just easy. Like you're probably just problem solving all day. Is that kind of right?
Yeah. Problem solving is that's a good chunk of time.
Problem solving. How much paperwork is involved? Is it endless?
It's endless. It's nonstop.
Because like you have your lease that's 36 pages, and I'm assuming like your property insurance. Then you have to have like
I get stuff. There's insurance, there's liability, there's your own. You got to insure yourself. You don't get to. You got your own stuff that you don't get that a normal job would. I get letters from. You got to get workers' comp insurance. You got to get tax stuff, Department of Labor. I get so many envelopes. I don't even open them all.
You don't have time.
I don't even know what they all mean. I don't even open half the paper. I hope my accountant doesn't hear this.
As a former accountant, don't worry. We don't open most of our stuff either. It's all spam.
No, it's something different every day between like bills and stuff that's changing with businesses and taxes and rules and whatever. And then the paperwork of my actual job it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, Carl, do you deal with like any medical insurance? Because I know with some gyms, it's kind of like, you get a discount on your medical insurance if you go to the gym so much. Like, do any people come like, hey, Carl, we need you to sign our sheet so we can get the credit with?
Yeah. They take advantage of that. A lot of companies do that, and they should, because healthy people, better at work. Yeah.
Healthy people, healthy workforce.
They do that for my for my office job. If you go to the gym a certain amount of days in a year, then they give you they pay for it essentially.
Right.
So to all of our listeners, check with your health insurance and see if you can get a little bit of a discount by going to Carlee Myers.
Yeah, Carlee Myers personal training. That's it. So nice. So like we said, honestly, and like you have a child and your kid is going to be like, I mean, I don't know. They should be very proud that their mom has their own business and that can support and do all these kind of things. And like, not to say that you shouldn't be proud of your husband as well. But like, this is something like you're leaving a legacy, and that's really a great thing. So let's keep this going. I want to move on. So we went over pretty much everything. There's one last couple things we're going to do, and I'm going to let you get out of here. So I sent you some questions, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to go over these questions, right? And get some answers, and then I'll send you on your way. How does that sound?
Okay, I'm excited.
Okay. First question. What was your favorite movie at the age of 10?
Oh, geez. My favorite movie at the age of 10. Do I have to pick one?
No, you can pick whatever.
All right, not necessarily in this order. Mighty Ducks, Mrs. Doubtfire, Hook, and Newsies.
Oh, baby! That is a killer list. I knew Newsies was going to be on there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. Jack Kelly. Spot Conlon. Where you at? Nice. All right. Fucking, that's a killer early 90s fucking list. I'll tell you that.
That's when all the movies stopped. Past that, none of it matters.
I think I was 34 when I realized that Dustin Hoffman played Hook in Hook.
Dude, same.
What?
I was like, yeah. Oh, dude, I remember I saw him in Meet the Parents, right? In the second one, I think. And I was like, wait a second. That's fucking Hook? That guy? Right there?
Yeah.
Had no clue. That's just, that's the power of his art. He's fucking incredible. He's like one of the
He is incredible. He's a really good Hook.
Oh, he's the best. There's no other Hook as far as I'm concerned. There's only one Hook, and it's old Dusty. Okay.
Dusty.
So you said Mighty Ducks, Mrs. Doubtfire, Hook, Newsies.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, what is your favorite movie or TV show right now?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's a win for the good guys, Matty boy.
No, okay, all right. That's not my favorite. Okay.
Yeah, goddamn right it's not. It's nobody's favorite.
Okay. Favorite movie. God, I haven't seen a movie in so long. Thanks, COVID.
It can be a TV show.
All right. I'm really into two things right now.
Yeah.
I'm not really like a TV. Oh, duh.
Duh.
So Mayor of Easttown.
Love Mayor. Pete, have you seen Mayor of Easttown?
Yeah, have you guys seen the SNL skit Murder Dirter?
Yeah, so good.
They murdered my dirter!
So, all right. So Mayor of Easttown, and then I recently got into Homeland. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa. Brody, you just recently got into Homeland?
Yeah, like episode 8, season 1. So don't say
All right, no
so
spoilers.
good.
We can't spoil, but
What's the name? What's the name of the Arab guy that had him as a prisoner? Fuck.
Abu Nazir.
No,
Nazir.
Abu Nazir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nazir,
Yeah.
And Carlee, do you recognize Saul in the show? Do you know what Saul is from?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't. My husband said something about it and brought him.
Wow.
What is it?
My name is
father.
Intego Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Inigo Montoya, Princess Bride.
Oh yeah, we just talked about that. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hello?
yeah.
My name is Inigo Montoya. Great movie. Mandy Patinkin is the actor's name. Great actor.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Good
So
reference. Yep.
here's something I found out when I saw this somewhere, but apparently there's a scene in Princess Bride where they take Wesley or whatever to like a doctor, and it's Billy Crystal. So apparently Mandy Patinkin bruised a rib when holding in laughter in a scene with Billy Crystal, so he didn't break. Yeah, that's how funny Billy fucking Crystal is. He fucking hurts your ribs.
He didn't say I love. He said I Lorne, and everyone knows that Lorne means to.
Dude, one of the best scenes in that whole movie when he's like, "Love's pretty good, but you know what else is pretty good? A good MLT, a mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich when the mutton's cut just right." Fucking hysterical. You know what I mean? So okay.
Great movie.
So we'll say Homeland and Mayor of Easttown is your answers for right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you could give yourself a nickname, what would the nickname be?
Okay, so I didn't give this nickname to myself, but most people call me Car, if you know me past before a certain point. And then the rest of the world calls me Carl.
And I would like to say, I would like to give credit to former guest of the show, friend of the show, the godfather of meat, Mike Finelli, for giving you that name.
That is true. I will never. Yep. And it just kind of stuck. And then in college, somebody found out that somebody called me that. And then it stuck all through college. And then my work friends found out. And now here we are at 30 whatever. And people call me Carl.
Yep. And you went by Gnarls Barkley for a while as well. So
there's a lot of the name is taken on a life of its own. So
yeah. So, okay. So if you could host a TV show, which one would you host? It could be real or made up. Like, for instance, like one of our guests, former guest of the show, Rick Outland, said that he wanted to make up a show where he would travel around the world from like different bars and pubs and try like their local drink, you know? So kind of like the Anthony Bourdain thing where he was traveling and like trying their local stuff. And like kind of like, it was like a booze version of diners, drive-ins, and dives kind of thing.
Well, I was just gonna say anything food related. Like I love Triple D.
That dude, fucking God, best job ever.
I would love to host that show. I mean, I wouldn't mind like a guest spot on like Wheel of Fortune or something.
Well, that's the next question. So
the Pat spot, not the Vanna spot.
Pat Sajak. Okay,
obviously.
Yeah, we knew that because we're not male misogynist pigs, so we wouldn't think that you would want to be Vanna. Yeah. So even though fucking Vanna White. So either way, okay. So you have so you would host the price, or you would host Wheel of Fortune, or possibly a Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. If you could be on a TV game show or something like that, what TV game show would you be on?
And just like anytime, you could go from Global Guts all the way up to Survivor, like anything.
Yeah. Former co-host of the show, Shake, aka Snake, aka Judas, aka Backstabber, aka sold this place out from underneath me. He said he would have loved to be on the Gilmore Girls.
No, I'm not gonna go that far. Any show I want to be on is definitely a game show. I don't want to be on another show. So
you're not no fucking chump.
Yeah, absolutely not. When I was younger, I thought for sure I would dominate Supermarket Sweep.
Whoa!
I would. I just know that I would. And then
You get to that chlorine aisle, smell, and be like, all right, let's get this done.
Yeah. Like, I know my time in this aisle.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else I would do.
I like supermarket sweep. That's a good one.
I would be pretty good at that.
All right, so supermarket sweep. So we'll stick with that.
You can even go guys' grocery games, combine them up. You know?
Yeah.
I would love it. I would love it.
So, all right, so let's keep it moving. Next question. What is the biggest or coolest word you know the meaning of? It could be a term from your profession. It could be something you found out along the way. It could be a bunch of different things.
The biggest word I know.
Coolest or biggest word?
Oh, well, I don't think they're one and the same.
True.
I mean, if anyone asks me a question at work, most of the words I spit out are scientific.
I think the listeners of this show will have heard by now just how much of a natural linguist you actually are.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
What's the coolest word I know? Oh, I don't know. There's definitely muscles that I spit out during the day that I
Hit us. Give us
I
one.
was always a big fan of phalanges myself.
Whoa, good old phalange.
Phalanges doesn't come up as much.
I always thought they were like, I always wanted to start the trend of naming your children after a body part. Like, I always thought a good name for a girl would be urethra. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Or
a lot of
maybe
other
vas
body parts I
deferens.
choose. You know, no. Why those? Yeah, any muscle. I don't know. Today I said the word latissimus dorsi, and somebody looked at me and said, "What the hell is
What
that?"
the fuck is a
Yeah,
latissimus
learn
dorsi?
something here. Science us up.
Yeah.
It's your lat. It's like the big muscle of your back.
Oh,
You know.
it's called your latissimus dorsi.
There you go. Yep.
I feel like you say that as like when like a mechanic or something says something about my car that I don't know. Like, you're kind of
Right.
just selling me bullshit.
People say, "Oh yeah." They don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Matt, your expialidocious is loose. We have to
yeah.
replace that. And he's
Yeah.
like, all right,
Oh,
I'll pay you an
man.
extra $200.
Yeah. Your lateral dalamingus is it's leaking. So I mean, we got to fix it. Yeah.
You're 3 phalanges short of a falafel.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So what was the term again? Lateris dalamingus. What is it?
Yes, exactly. No, latissimus dorsi.
Latissimus dorsi. It means your back, you fucking stunads. Okay. So next question. What was the worst or weirdest day of work in your whole life?
I don't know. A lot. Oh, I guess I'm not even thinking about my current work.
Any day. Any day. It wouldn't be the day
Weirdest-
that some stud came in and challenged you to a swimming race.
No. The
you
worst or
cheated that
weirdest
day, so-
day.
Yeah.
did
That
not
wouldn't
cheat.
be the weirdest. Yeah. Would it be the day that 2 idiots showed up at your job after running into a bird with their car?
I mean, most of my days at Hatfield were pretty weird. Okay, the weirdest. Okay, one of the weirdest. I left my job after 9.5 years unceremoniously. Okay, I'll just say that.
Okay.
And I thought I'd be real upset, and I wasn't. I was like the happiest ever. And I
Yeah.
think it was like real weird because I realized that I was at a job for 9 years. It probably was about 8 years too long.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, it was secretly the best day. But
Okay.
you're gonna
Well,
go
that
and
was,
ask me about the best day.
yes, that was actually the next question. What is the best day of work in your life?
All right. Well, I have the best day every day because I do what I want for a living. But the best day was when I cut the ribbon on my new place.
Oh,
nice,
that's
nice.
great. That's a great answer. Okay. So last question, and we'll let you leave. So if you could, so out of all of the jobs you've had, out of every job you've had, if you could pick one of those jobs and live comfortably and like be able to support your family and all that stuff and, you know, whatever, what job would you pick? Out of all the jobs you've had, if you could like live and support your family and everything like that and live comfortably out of any of the jobs you've had, what job would you pick?
I mean, I would pick the job I have now because
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. But that's
Yeah.
honestly, like, I think, you know, that is the dream. Like, I would love to have a job that I love doing. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you know, hopefully one day this thing will pay the bills because I do love doing this, you know? I mean, for now I love doing it, but eventually it's probably going to, you know, some asshole is probably going to ruin it for me. But like I think that's everyone should. I think the world would be a better place if people did aspire to actually work at a job where they liked what they were doing.
That's why you deal with the triple net leases, to be your own boss. And
it's worth it. It's worth it. Yeah.
You wake up every day not having to deal with some asshole staring down your throat, or like some inner office politics that could determine whether you get a raise, which could help you buy a house, or some bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to worry about that bullshit. Like you can just do your thing,
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm pretty lucky.
Nice. That's awesome.
Well, Carlee, just remember, luck is the residue of design.
I like that, man. I'm walking away from this podcast with a lot of good stuff.
I heard something today that money. So you work to. So you. Oh God, what is it? So you do what you hate. So okay. So you're not supposed to, like, people do what they love for a job, but other people do something they hate to get money to do something they love, right? So, instead of people doing something they hate to get money to do something they love, you're actually working at a job that you actually love, where you wake up like happy to go to work. That's something like I don't think I've ever experienced that in my entire life.
Work to live or live to work, That's the way.
That's right.
I would love once to have that experience where I wake up happy to go to work. Yeah. It'd be nice. But, one day when Pete decides to finally make an honest man out of me, maybe that will be the day. But okay. So either way, we've come to the top of time here. Carlee, I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. This has been awesome, guys.
This has been really great, really fun. And I know me and Pete are usually on board with this, but we would love if you would come back on the show.
Absolutely.
I would love it. Yeah.
That's great. Okay,
so many more stories to tell.
We have a lot. Some embarrassing ones. So either way, this has been, so we're at the top of time. This has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. Carlee, anything you'd want to say to all the people listening before we take off?
No, thanks for listening, guys. And if you're ever coming down Main Street in Lansdale, stop in.
Yeah. Carlee Myers, personal training. Personal fitness, personal training.
Personal training.
Yep. Carlee Myers Personal Training. Like I said, we'll have a link to her stuff in the description, as well as the address, so you can Google it and then stop by anytime to bother her and ruin her bathroom. All right. Perfect. So, Party Boy Pete, my heterosexual life partner, what do you got to say to the dozens and dozens before we take off, pal?
Just support your PSEC schools, everybody. IUP, Bloomsburg, Edinburgh, Lockhaven. There's a bunch of good PSEC schools out there. We got to keep them going. So support your PSEC.
Yes, amen. Thank you, Pete.
Support PSEC, baby. We love that. Okay, so this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives podcast. I'm Matt Lavelle. He's Party Boy Pete McCormick. Our guest today was the one and only Carlee Erin Myers. You can find our show on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast and join us on the Twitter and the TikTok at Working P Pod. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, feel free to email us at workingperspectives@gmail.com. But this is the end of the show. Stick around for the ad read. All right, thanks. See ya. Do you have a message or a story inside of you that you've been waiting to tell? Have you always dreamed of writing a book, but are intimidated by the complexities of the book publishing world? Perhaps you want to use a book to launch your public speaking or consulting career. If so, please reach out to Scott and Bell Publishing, located right here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Scott and Bell Publishing handle all genres and authors with all experience levels. Scott and Bell Publishing gives authors 100% creative freedom and a higher royalty split. They can be found at www.skotbell.com. That's www.s as in Sam, K as in Kite, O as in October, T as in Tom, B as in Boy, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, L as in Larry.com. That's Scott and Bell Publishing, where the authors go.